Good evening, everyone. We're going to start our board meeting. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to go back into public.
Motion.
We'll have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, I will open up to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address, and this is on any agenda items only, and you will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the mic.
Good evening, Jackie Garcia, 600 Laurel Avenue. I have a quick item.
Jackie, can you speak into the mic a little bit more or make sure it's on?
Does that work?
That's better. Thank you.
Perfect. Jackie Garcia, 600 Laurel Avenue. I have a question on agenda item. I'll tell you right now. 29, professional services appropriation and extracurricular activities. And so my question is really just clarification. If for that contract, if the upset limit is that 425,000, and just to specify if that's for this, for the next oncoming school year, so 2022 September through the following year. That was it.
All right, Pedro, you can answer. Sure.
It was for the following school year, 22, 23, yes, it is.
The time limits, yeah.
Yes.
And then the upset limit of the contract, is that the 425,000? Is that the max that we could bill out for that contract?
That's the total.
Okay,
Yep,
right.
yes.
excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. Just left me. At this time, I'll turn the agenda over to Mr. Garrido.
Thank you, Mr. Harms. At this time, I would like to call up Principal of Sherman School, Mrs. Tara Legner, to give her principal's report.
Good evening, Mr. Garrido, Mr. Olibardi, President Harms, Vice President Kallstrom, Board of Education members, parents, and students. Thank you for allowing me to share some of the exciting things happening at Sherman School. Our PTA and Sherman School staff have been planning fun activities for students over the last few months. We celebrated Tuesday on February 2nd. Students and staff dressed in pairs, ties, tutus, and some even wore tiaras. Everyone donated 2 canned items. The PTA delivered our donation to the local food pantries. The 100th day of school is always a very important day at Sherman. This year, everyone in the school turned 100 years old. We had a special visit from Zero to Hero, and the PTA set up stations and activities in the gym for the students to enjoy. Read Across America Night was a hit for students across the grade levels. Our student council and PTA organized a spectacular night of reading and fun. Last Friday, students and staff participated in Cultural Day. Everyone was asked to dress in clothing that represents their culture, as well as bring in an item to talk about and share with their class. Yesterday, we rocked the socks and wore our craziest socks to support World Down Syndrome Day. And this Friday, we are hosting Special Persons Day. Everyone is excited to bring back this special event. I'd like to thank the PTA and the staff for their creativity, time, and support into making this school year filled with wonderful events and special memories for our students. One of the project-based learning activities that is happening right now in our school is Steam Tank. Through the guidance of Mrs. Burgos and Mrs. Dougherty, we had 9 teams submit their idea to the panel in video format. 8 teams were selected to advance to the regionals on March 9th. The students did a phenomenal job presenting their ideas. The judges were impressed with their presentation, the students' professional dress, and creative slides. Most of all, they were interested in their ideas and the products. One group was recommended to get a non-disclosure agreement to protect their idea. We are eagerly anticipating the results, and the next stage of the process will be to present at the finals at the end of the school year. In this step, students will create a prototype and incorporate the judges' feedback to their product idea. We will keep you informed once we receive the results. I would like to thank Mr. Salvo, Mr. Garrido, and the Roselle Park Board of Education for supporting programs like Steam Tank for our students. So right now, I'd like to talk a little bit about why we have some Sherman School students here. So Mrs. Rossinello wanted you to know that she is watching live stream from home, so she's with us right now. And she sent me a few words to talk about the importance of Youth Art Month. Youth Art Month is celebrated nationwide every March. Each state has a celebration, and in New Jersey, every county also has a celebration. In Union County, art teachers who are members of the Art Educators of New Jersey participate in the Union County Art Month exhibit. Each teacher is asked to submit up to 10 pieces of artwork that represents their art curriculum for a virtual exhibit. In Roselle Park, all of our art teachers participate in this exhibit. This year, the premiere for the county exhibit will take place on Monday, March 28th at 7 p.m. The students and their families will be the first ones to view this year's county art exhibit during the Zoom call. So right now, I would like to call up the students that are going to be representing Sherman School this year. And on behalf of Mrs. Rossinello and myself and Mr. Garrido and the Board of Ed, we are all proud of you and thank you for representing our town in this exhibit. Okay, and boys and girls, just be careful walking in the front because there's some wires there. All right, so our first recipient is Layla Calais. And boys and girls, when you go up, just stay up there we're going to take a picture at the end. Okay, next, Christopher Metellus. Our next student is Savannah Toro. The next student is Anna Chen. Next, Isabella Duco. Representing grade 4, Angeline Takori. Our next student, Alexa Duque. Up next, Annie Chen. Fifth grade student, Emma Argue. And fifth grade student, Morgan O'Keefe. Congratulations, everyone.
I just want to say congratulations to all the children for artwork being exhibited in the Union County Art Month. So congratulations to all of you. Great job. At this time, mom and dad, if you'd like to take your children home, do some homework, or just maybe stay out in the nice fresh air. Okay, we're going to take 2 minutes and allow you to go head home. Okay, you can stay if you want to, but I don't think the children want to stay and listen to us. So have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. That is.
Okay, we'll move on with the agenda at this time. Do we have any committee reports?
Yes, President Harms, I have a few, which is exciting. The first on the agenda for me is the RPHS PTSA meeting that I was able to attend last month. Was a lively group of people, really wonderful, and excited to have my first meeting with them as the liaison. They spoke about project graduation coming up, which is very exciting, just discussing fundraisers, and I want to make everyone aware of April 16th, the Egg My Yard Day. The high school PTSA is hosting an Egg My Yard fundraiser. They'll be delivering candy-filled Easter eggs to your yard with a note from the Easter Bunny. Very exciting. And also just another plug to sign up for your PTA or PTO. They're very vital to our young people, and so excited and grateful to be able to work with Jen Jaskula and the whole team at the RPHS PTSA. I was also able to attend the UCSBA, Union County School Board Association meeting on the 16th. And just for our board members to know, there is a NJSBA symposium, April 26th and 27th, happening at Kane University. You can register online through the UCSBA portal, NJSBA portal. And it's going to be a lively number of events that we can use to better understand what other districts are doing to improve the normal operations of a board, which I think is really wonderful. The next UCSBA meeting will be in person on the 14th of May. So if anyone would like to attend, please speak to me and we can organize that. Also, we were asked several questions about coming back to school and how people are adjusting to life now that some of the restrictions have been lifted. We were asked about mask policy, what we're doing in Roselle Park, and what other districts are doing across the county. They asked us questions like, what are you doing about the mask mandate being lifted? Are they changing policies? Are parents volunteers in the building? Just, informing us as to different ways different towns are addressing these changes. And then finally, one moment. Yes, and finally, I'd like to make a report on a conversation we had today with the Operations Committee and our food services provider, Pomptonian. So essentially, we had again, yet another lively conversation about the change that has been happening over time since some of the restrictions has been lifted over COVID. A lot of transparency was brought about through our conversation about what, taking in the parent concerns and making sure that they're addressed. We asked some very hard questions and they were willing to meet us where we were at. So we'll be seeing more options and the students able to come up for lunch at certain schools. The nutrition meeting annually, there being a meeting annually to discuss with Pomptonian and our students, families, and board members to discuss, the needs and changes that are happening to make sure that, again, we're receiving the highest quality and portions available. There's much more information that will be available online through our food services tab on the rpsd.org website. And then options in the high school and middle school are expanding, and they're, yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you so much.
All right, any other committee report? Hearing none, we'll move into the agenda. Under personnel, agenda, I'm
No.
sorry.
Superintendent's report.
Oh, that's right. All right, across the page. I'm over here. Okay. All right, we're moving to the superintendent's report. Mr. Garrido?
Thank you, Mr. Harms. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying the beautiful spring weather that we've been having. Tonight, we'll begin the superintendent's report by calling up two presenters. The first is the comprehensive annual financial report for the year ending June 30th, 2021. And for that, I would like to call up Mr. Robert Holzer from the Robert Holzer and Company.
Thank you. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I just briefly want to touch base on a couple of things, and then I'd certainly be happy to open it up to questions. First, I'm very happy to let the board know that the results of our audit for the 2021 school year were excellent. There's nothing I need to bring to your attention. We're doing the things that we needed to do during the 2021 school year to be successful and to be in full compliance with the laws and regulations. So I'm very happy to report that to the board. I reviewed our financial position. It certainly is reasonable. We're doing a good job of putting money towards tax relief, but also putting money into reserve accounts to help offset future budgets. That just benefits everyone in Roselle Park, and I think that's a good thing as well. A couple of challenging years we've had due to COVID-19. Districts have had to really adapt on the fly, and for the most part, and I see that here in Roselle Park as well, they've done an excellent job doing that. Administration and the board really had to look at options very quickly and make decisions, and I think everything looked good at the end of this year. We did get some grants related to COVID that helped us cover those costs, and at the same time help us save some money in other areas, so that was beneficial to us as well. So all in all, a good situation, a good year in terms of the audit, and other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone would have in general or about the report itself.
Yeah, I have one. Were there any recommendations at all?
No, there were no recommendations. There was nothing in our procedures that we found that was deficient that we need to bring to your attention. So an excellent result.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holzer, for the report, and I would like to congratulate our business office for the excellent work, and our former business administrator, Michelle Collis, who did a phenomenal job. This was the previous school year, ending June of 2021. So again, finances are in good order, and that is good for the district. And I want to thank you
Well,
for the presentation, Mr. Holzer.
Thank you. And just to quickly mention, Michelle did reach out to me when she knew she was going to be leaving, and she asked me to expedite whatever I could. So she was leaving the district in the best possible condition that she could. And, it was great to see that kind of an attitude, and spoke well of her and the district.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have a good night. Take care.
Thank you
too.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the second presenter for the night is to present the semi-annual summary report for harassment, intimidation, bullying, investigations, the training and programs from September 1st, 2022 through 2021 through December 31st, 2022. And I would like to introduce our anti-bullying coordinator, Ms. Ellen Becker.
Thank you, Mr. Garrido. Good evening, everybody. I do want to point out that we just need to change those dates in the minutes. I think it says September to December 2022. Actually, this data is from the beginning part of this school year, which is September 1st to December 31st, 2021. So as per the New Jersey Department of Education, schools are required to report school safety data to the District Board of Education twice during the school year. As the anti-bullying coordinator for the district, it is my responsibility to report specifically about harassment, intimidation, and bullying data. By law, each school in the district is required to have an anti-bullying specialist who, along with their principals, address any concerns about harassment, intimidation, and bullying in their building, and then initiate investigations as needed. The anti-bullying specialists are Andrea Cosadoy in the high school, Kathy Pons at the middle school, Dina Miwad, Robert Gordon, Carolyn Gleason at Aldine, and Jamie Halperin at Sherman School. I do want to commend all of these people for their hard work, dedication, discretion, and professionalism as they investigate these very challenging situations. I do want to point out also that they are all the school guidance counselors, and Ms. Cosadoy at the high school is a social worker who all have very full plates with their normal responsibilities in addition to their responsibilities as the anti-bullying specialist. For this reporting period, we had a total of 7 investigations that were reported as possible cases of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. After thorough investigation, it was determined that none of those cases met the criteria as set forth by the New Jersey Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. Our goal was always to use these situations as learning experiences, so counseling for the alleged offenders and sometimes the victim is always required, even if the situation does not meet the code. But many cases, and often, there is still a code of conduct violation that is addressed by the behavior, and some of the consequences that might be put in place if there's a code of conduct violation would include parent conferences, education on our bullying policy, schedule changes for the students if necessary, detention, in and out of school detention, monitoring by a staff member, or even police involvement if warranted. In that first reporting period, we had 1 investigation at the high school, 1 at the middle school, 3 at Aldine, 1 at Sherman, and 1 at Robert Gordon. Anti-bullying specialists are also the lead of our school safety team. According to the law, each school has to have a safety team, which is run by the anti-bullying specialist with the principal along with volunteer staff members. And their goal is to work together to promote activities and programs that create a positive and supportive school environment. I am also required to report on the trainings and programs that are implemented to raise awareness about harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Some of the trainings that we did for the first part of the year were very heavily focused on our staff. All staff members, from the administrators to paraprofessionals and everybody in between, custodians, were required to do 11 different training programs. And some of the topics included bullying, recognition and response, diversity awareness, Making Schools Safe and Inclusive for Our LGBTQ and Transgender Students, American Disability Act Review, Cultural Competence and Racial Bias, Online Safety, Youth Suicide, and even our cafeteria were trained by Pomptonian to recognize and identify bullying behavior, because it can happen by our custodians and our cafeteria workers. Everybody has eyes and ears in the building, and they're all contribute to creating a safe environment. Some of the programs that were implemented this year were at the high school. We always do a Power Back Coalition for Change, and it's a very comprehensive program on teen dating awareness and suicide prevention programming. At Aldine, they had a Have a Heart art and mural lessons, Cool to Be Kind internet awareness lessons, class buddies, meeting activities. Robert Gordon did Fill Your Bucket program. Did you know series of cultural awareness. Sherman Starts with Hello campaign, and middle school did the School International Week of Peace. We also do things, every school does their own recognition of Week of Respect in October when we first come back to school. I know we also try to implement things just to create a positive, warm, welcoming school environment. For example, at the high school, we had 70 new registered students this year. So we did a welcome breakfast to them to help them feel welcome and acclimated and see some other friendly faces at the high school. All those things create a positive school environment, which has a direct correlation to the amount of bullying investigations that we have to conduct each year. So the goal of our anti-bullying specialists, myself, our school safety team, and our principals are to continue to create schools with positive, accepting environments where all members of our school community feel safe and supported. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Backer. And as always, I want to thank you and the anti-bullying specialist for the work that you do every day to protect our students from any HIB incidents. People don't realize the hard work, but the important work that goes into that to make sure that we have a safe school district. Thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you. Just a couple of things that I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention. Kindergarten registration is ongoing. It's the in-person registration is in April 24th and 26th, I believe. We have streamlined the website to make it a little bit more friendly for anyone that wants to find information. So please visit the district website for more information on new student registration, kindergarten registration, pre-kindergarten registration. The lottery was already up a couple weeks ago, so we already have a list of students. However, I believe in-person registration still has to happen, Mrs. Legner, and that's coming up as well. So please visit the website so you can see that. Just a little piece of information. Our ELL students or English language learners, they have gone through the first part of our state testing, which is called the Access Test. All elementary schools are completed. We are still waiting for middle school and the high school Access Test. Our spring NJSLA testing is coming up. More information will be forwarded by Mrs. Bordick, our district testing coordinator. So please make sure that you await that information and also visit the website for additional information. I just want to end by congratulating our students and our staff. As you know, on March 7th, we went into optional masks here in the district. Things have gone well. We're still making sure that we maintain our health and safe protocols in the school buildings, but things are much better and things are going very well. And again, I want to congratulate all of our students and our staff. They have been really amazing in transitioning to the new phase in this COVID world that we live in. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Harms.
Thank you, Mr. Garino. At this time, we'll move on into the agenda under personnel. Items 1 through 14. 1, staff appointment. 2, district substitute teachers. 3, change of assignment transfer. 4, salary adjustment. 5, additional lunch proctor personnel. 6, staff resignation. 7, revision of middle school extracurricular advisors 2021 to 2022. Additional athletic coaches 2021 to 2022. Revision of appointment 10, maternity leave of absence extension request. 11, activity detention proctor. 12, additional ARP PBL program staff. 13, paraprofessional additional hours, and 14, leave of absence extension request. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any comments, discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Vice President Colstrom,
Yes.
Paul Bayamante,
Yes.
Mark Fernandez,
Yes.
Mix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Constance Quintella,
Yes.
and President Harms.
Yes. Motion carries. Under education, agenda items 15 through 18. 15, harassment, intimidation, bullying incidents. 16, education programs. 17, education trip request. 18, revision of 2021, 2022 school calendar. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I just have one on item 17, Bell Works. Who's requesting it? I'm not sure.
That is part of our robotic VEX, VEX robotics team. They are having a competition over, and it happens to be the state competition over in Bellworks.
Okay, I just didn't know who was, where Bell Works, what it was all about.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Vice President Colstrom,
Yes.
Paul Bayamante, Mark Fernandez,
Yes.
Mix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Constance Quintella,
Yes.
and President Harms.
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move on to business, agenda items 19 through 32, and addenda 1 through 3. 19, monthly certifications. 20, approval of bills. 21, approval of minutes. 22, secretary treasurer's report. 23, use of buildings and grounds. 24, bus evacuation drills. 25, donation acceptance. 26, bid award, new field lights in Roselle, at Roselle Park High School. 27, 2022, 2023 tentative school district budget. 28, annual maximum travel expenditures amount for 2022, 2023 school year. 29, professional services appropriation and extracurricular activities, 2022, 2023 school year. 30, semi-cap. 31, early childhood planning budget submittal. 32, revision to district contract agreement. Under addenda 1, door replacement project. Number 2, district contract. And number 3, donation acceptance. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion?
We have a second? Any discussion? I just have one question. With all these buildings and all the field uses, I hope that each organization, whomever that might be, gets their fair share in the using of the fields. I just don't want to, I just hope they all get a fair share of using the fields, because that's what it's for our children. And I don't want any one group missing out because of another one's taking too much of the fields. But I just definitely hope that they all get their fair share and everybody worked everything out that they can get that fair share. If there's no other discussion, roll call, please.
Vice President Colstrom,
I have a question for number 29 for professional services. Just here for like this speech evaluation, which I guess we're putting 95,000. Is that the same as last year, or is there any change?
Because it could,
Number 29.
Is that the same as last year? Is that what you're?
no, it's not. What number you talking about, the 95,000?
Yes.
That went up, and that's
Okay,
not etched in stone, that could change.
okay,
That's just professional contracts, and that's to be submitted to the budget to the county.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Hearing no, roll call, please.
Vice President Colstrom,
Yes.
Paul Bayamonte,
Yes, with an abstention on 23E.
Mark Fernandez,
Yes, with abstention on 23E, 23O, and 23P.
Mix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Constance Quintella,
Yes.
and President Harms.
Yes. Under new business, resolution number 33, accepting the resignation of Angela Ortiz, effective March 15, 2022. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Vice President Colstrom,
Yes.
Paul Bayamonte, Mark Fernandez,
Yes.
Mix Infante,
Yes.
Dr. Kirkland,
Yes.
Constance Quintella, and President Harms.
Yes. Motion carries. Do we have any continuing business?
President Harms, I'd just like to thank Angela Ortiz for her service. However brief, it was great to have her and her willingness to run for, to serve our kids. So just a big thank you.
I agree. Thank you. Any other continuing business? Any new business? I just have one kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a statement, whatever. For all board members, if I hear that sometimes we don't have any discussions on any of the agenda items, I would ask that if you get the agenda, you don't understand something about it, please and I'm talking about if you don't, and you want all the information about that particular item, contact the business administrator or the superintendent and get that information so we all understand what we're voting for, that we don't have any miscommunication on what we're voting on. If that can't happen, and for some reason, I would ask that you would ask as on a board meeting, ask if you're not understanding what you're voting for. Please, I need and I want, and I think the community wants us to understand what we're voting for and why. So I just ask that we all ask the question if we don't understand something, to ask it. That's what it's for. Okay, thank you. Any other new business? At this time, I will move into the public participation. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address. Use the mic here. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, this is Figurito. I live at 330 Sheridan Avenue in Roselle Park. So I actually want to like to ask you, my children are in competitive sport. And I'm told at the high school that if my children are out more than 4 absentees in one semester or one marking period, they will fail gym. Now, my kids actually work out more in 1 week than they do 1 week in gym. What I don't understand is usually what I researched is New Jersey actually does it by the year. I would like to know why Roselle Park does it by the semester or the marking period. So my children are in middle school, they have no issues with it. The high school is telling me if my child is out 4 days, the 5th day, they get an F. My child is an A+ student. You're gonna fail my child when she actually works out tremendously, does everything she's supposed to, just because of gym, you're gonna fail my child? I think that's not fair.
Thank you for the questions and the comments. I certainly have to look at our policies because that's what drives the rules over at the high school, any of the schools. And I would like to also look at the state guidelines as well, because they do have, very strict guidelines as well. If-
I know.
Yeah, if you can, and I will ask you if you can please call my office tomorrow, just so I know who you are and how to reach back out to you, and leave your number, and I will definitely reach out to you with the answer, with the information. Okay, thank you.
I actually have another question.
Sure.
So now that Angie Ortiz resigns, she was our liaison. Who's going to represent the middle school now?
Do you want to answer?
Well, I'm not really sure because we did not know until tonight that it was an official. So I couldn't do anything about it until it was official. Tonight's official. One or two things, either I will, or I'll ask for a volunteer on the board.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Jen Giscola, 145 West Grant Avenue. This first one is directed completely to Mr. Garrido. I received a letter about a HIB that was voted on Wednesday, last Tuesday. There was no votes taken on Tuesday. I'm a little confused how I received a letter saying it was resolved when.
No, thank you so much. And I know Ms. Backer is here. The meeting did not take place last Tuesday. We will be revising that letter and sending it out. There was a communication issue, and I apologize for that. There's a good reason for that confusion. I would take full responsibility. The letter will be revised and will come out tomorrow morning as well.
Okay.
There was no vote last week.
Poor planning is all I'm just.
I'm sorry?
Poor planning. As a
Poor-
parent.
Yeah, you
I
could,
was-
you could
I-
say,
I'm-
you
I'm
could say,
gonna-
Mrs. Driscoll.
I'm going to say, as a
Yep.
parent, I was very upset.
And I understand. My
Because,
apologies for that.
Again, it just leads to miscommunication and misconceptions all across the board by parents and stakeholders in this district. That's, all I want to say on that. I would have hoped that someone would have reached out to me when they realized there was a problem.
Understandable.
But
I'm take full responsibility for that, and my complete apologies. It will not happen. There will be a revised letter tomorrow.
I'm hoping there'll be an explanation in there with the report, so I may see it. Because that was not included. Okay. That being said, I just have a comment as a parent. We talk about bullying, harassment, intimidation. We talk about the culture that's at our school. And I've kind of been going back and forth with this. Anybody up there knows I've been in this district more than 20 years at this point. I've had 3 children go through this district. I've been involved in this district. Maybe it's time we stopped asking, what are you, but who are you? Because somewhere along the line, we seem to have forgotten who our children are. They're children, they're people with feelings, and they're people with real issues. But when we keep asking them in surveys, we keep sitting there talking to them all the time about what are you? We need to start talking to them about who are they as compared to what? They are human living beings, not a what. And maybe that's something that our board, our schools, and our parents can get together and start to ask. Because the surveys that we're sending out, the kids aren't paying attention to. They're not answering them truthfully. I know, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you. What survey we send out? What survey we send out? Okay.
It was a safety team. I'll explain that.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's so
Okay. Okay.
Hello again, Jackie Garcia, 600 Laurel Avenue. I have a follow-up question. A couple meetings ago, we had the CPAC co-leaders had a conversation with the Director of Special Services, Ms. Cleffy, about the Board of Education liaison for our CPAC group. There was a follow-up meeting between Mr. Lauren Harms and Mr. Garrido on that action item. Has there been a resolution on that?
We're having discussion, Ms. Cleffy and I, on that topic. I haven't had discussions with the board yet, but there have been open discussions on it.
Okay, and then I just wanted to announce our next CPAC meeting is this upcoming Thursday, March 24th. And you're all invited to attend. So it's open for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you? So I thank you for all the work you do for our kids. My name is Mildred Vargas, 145 Charlotte Terrace. So I just want to say I have a 3-year-old who I recently went for the lottery. And, you know, after numerous emails, coming to all the meetings with the district, now we don't have a place for him. Why don't we have enough space in our district? We pay so much in taxes. We do so much here. Why is that not possible for our kids?
Can you clarify the space that you're?
It's the lottery for the pre-K.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, we have expanded our preschool quite a bit over the last 3 years. I believe this is our 3rd or 4th year with the grant from the state. We started with 2 classrooms. We're up to, I believe, 6 right now, 7 classrooms. So we have expanded quite a bit. Yes, our space is limited here in the district, but don't forget, 4 years ago, there was no free pre-K for no students. We have 75 pre-K students now that are receiving a free education. Do we hope, is my wish to expand the program? Absolutely. Are we looking at space to expand the program? Yes, we are. And we will continue to do so as we, move forward.
So, and I'm glad that Ms. Lechner is actually here. So what's the criteria that we have as a district to have for you to be nominated for this lottery? Like, that was never clear to me.
I'm sorry, again,
What was the criteria to your child to be?
for the child, well, the
Correct.
child has to be 4 before October 1 or 3 before October 1. Then they go into a lottery, being that we don't have enough space. And it's a lottery that's, we used our technology, so it takes completely the human factor out, and we put it through the names, and whoever comes up, the first 75 or whatever space we have, those are the students. And then the rest are put on waiting list. That doesn't mean that they might not get an opportunity if other students do not participate in the program.
Mr. Garrido, also 4-year-olds get it first, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
4-year-olds always get preferences before 3-year-olds.
Right.
Okay. I
And that's
wasn't
part of the
aware
grant.
that. Okay, thank you
Yes.
for that.
Okay.
Anyone else? You can only do one. I'm sorry. Sorry. Ask somebody else to speak for you. Whoa, you don't have to throw her up there.
Jennifer McCool, 415 Filbert Street. The question is regarding the lack of space with the upcoming new apartments, how we are going to manage when these apartments get filled and there's children that are ready for school age, how we're going to have the space in our current environment to fill these classrooms with these new students.
I'm sorry. We're talking about parking. Is that what I heard?
No, space in the classrooms.
Oh, when you, okay.
We're almost near capacity in almost all of our schools, from what I understand. I know some of it has come down, but not enough where with the influx of new families into the town, there would be enough space for students.
So far, if somebody can correct me, I think we have 6 children That's it. So far.
But those,
So you can come up with a different number. And that's great. But you have to, we have it here. So if somebody's telling you we got 25, 30,
but there are more apartments being planned, obviously.
that's
right?
correct. And so far with what's gone up, I don't remember what the total number was in the current apartments going up on Westfield Avenue. If I'm trying to think that they were saying that maybe it was 36 possible. And again, I don't know what age they might be. So, you know,
So there's no future
36.
Planning, it's more of a wait and see. We're going to wait and see. And
It's hard to say. I mean, when we looked at this, we questioned, the board questioned the council, and anybody who was building, they had to come up with a report of what they thought would be, what they thought would come in. So the original was, I don't know, like 10 or something out of the first apartments that went up. I think we got, somebody told me there were 6. I don't know exactly. So we didn't get anywhere where everybody was saying we were going to get 35, 40, 50 kids. That's not true. The second one, we don't know yet. Romanovsky's, that was a builder's remedy. So there was nothing that the borough or we could do about that. It was a lawsuit that the people won. They cut down the number of the apartments that they were going in there. I don't remember what that was. If I was going to guess to say at a total everything, I'm thinking, I'm not going to say because I could be totally wrong on the numbers. But I know there's a rumor going around there that we have, what are we going to call that? Section 8. There is no such thing as Section 8 in Roselle Park in any of the apartments. So I want to dismiss that rumor. We have low-income housing, which by law we have to in the town. I'm getting into politics here but that's not my responsibility here. But I have people here. I want to have them heard that we do not have Section 8 in Roselle Park. Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak, please come forward. Hearing none, I will close the public portion. We don't have, will not be going into executive. If there's nothing else on the board, anybody have any comments or anything? If not, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Nay. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.